gentlemen, welcome to Pow Chat. I am your host for today, Ronnie. You're probably wondering where is Nancy? Well, she's not here. We are live in Uganda, and we are bringing an interview today of I'm going to tell you where I am. I'm in Purpose Children's Home in Uganda, in Entebbe. And we're going to be interviewing a lady known as Remi who runs this place and has been running this place for the last 7 years. You don't want to miss what we're going to show you today. It's going to be extremely interesting and we want you to get involved. Please continue watching, watch the show, and we'll see you at the other end of the show. See you in a minute. Welcome to the show, Remi. How are you?
Thank you. My name is Remi Susan, like he has said, and this is Papa's Uganda Babies Home.
Remi, could you please tell us a little bit about this place?
Yeah, this is a home for abandoned, neglected, abused, and orphaned babies. We get babies from day one and we raise them until they're about 6, 7. The oldest right now is 8 years and she's in school. Most of the oldest go to boarding school because we are not supposed to keep them here. We are supposed to transfer them to other children's homes. We don't feel comfortable because we are attached to these children. So it is a bit hard for us to give them away like that. That is why we take them to boarding school where we can keep in touch with them. Most of our children come from difficult backgrounds. They are abused.
Or mothers who have taken their child, say, to a police station and walked away, or where mothers, or it could be fathers too, where they've taken their child to a roadside and they've just dumped them there and then walked away.
Yes.
I mean, how do you get these children? How do you actually get them to this home?
So we get these children from the police, through the probation officers. It's all legal, and through the courts. And some of them come from the communities around. And we get severely malnourished children. It's not the fathers who dump them. The fathers are not involved. They are not in the children's lives. It's mostly the mothers. The mothers leave them behind for reasons best known to them. I just assume the reasons because I have never seen a mother come up to claim a child.
Do you get children who have been severely abused? What I mean by abuse, I mean like they've got marks on their bodies or anything like that, or children that have been severely neglected?
Yes, we do. We even have children that have been sexually abused, severely abused sexually, and then those who have been physically abused, and some have been left to starve. They are not given food to feed. So that is what I told you about severe malnutrition. And we have had cases, you will see them in the pictures, of severe malnutrition. Most of our cases here are severe malnutrition, abuse, physical abuse, and a few sexual abuses here and there.
Do you ever get any of obviously you've mentioned something about the parents have never come back here. Do you ever get do you have a system where maybe you could trace the parents of these children?
Yes, we try. We have a social worker who goes to the field. They go back to where the child was found. We put in the newspapers. We try to encourage the parents to come back here and claim their children because we don't want to judge them. We want the children to have a connection with their parents. But we have not been very successful. For some of the children, we have met the relatives, but mostly those are children that are orphaned because the parents were staying somewhere, they died maybe in hospital or at home. When you do a trace, you find grandparents. But those who have been abandoned, it's hard to find any known relative. And for those who have been abused and neglected, there are some grandparents, there are relatives, there are mothers there that we try to trace and find, but they keep running away because the law is also not favorable. If they are caught, they are put in prison for 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 the abuse.
We're at the Purpose Uganda Children's Home in Entebbe. Culture is bringing this to you live from Uganda. Um, Remi, I want to ask you, obviously I've asked you a question, but mainly what we want to give to people that are going to be potentially watching this is information. And some of the information they would like to know is, I mean, the children that that you pick up and the children are brought to you, do you get cases of where maybe some of the children have, HIV or anything like that?
Yes, some children have HIV, and I think that's one of the reasons the parents leave them, because they are scared to take care of their children. And some carry the HIV and virus when they are babies, but as they grow, I don't know what happens, it just disappears and they become normal. But because maybe the parents are ignorant, they've not gone to school, they may not know that. We have had so many cases here. They come in as babies of one day and we test and they are positive, but after like a year we go back to test and the kids are okay.
I mean, what what makes mothers, a mother who's carried a baby for 9 months or maybe less, and at the end of it they've given up their child, they're willing to drop their child at a drop of a hat and walk away, which is quite amazing. What do you think is the main cause for this?
HIV is number one, then poverty is number two, and most of the mothers, most especially those who leave their children in hospital, are young mothers. So that's also number three. We have some children here from mothers with mental illnesses. So you find that is also another reason why mothers just leave the kids on the streets and walk away. They may be mentally unwell. So people here associate twins with bad luck and some associate them with wealth. So those who think it is bad luck end up throwing them away. Those who think they are to bring wealth sacrifice them, as in literally killing and doing those traditional things. So that is why we have so many pairs of twins here.
Okay, I mean, in this day and age, I mean, that is something that is, should not be put up by anybody. That's why just educating people on certain things. We like culture, we like what we do, we like how we keep our culture so we can grow as a nation. However, there's some things that we can be educated in, and that's definitely one. You've also got volunteers, and you've also got workers. How does that work with the volunteers and workers?
So we have workers, ladies that come and help here during the day and some at night. These ones are paid by my friends. I used to work and I went to school, so I have friends. So each friend, women, came up and said, we'll pay for one. We'll get one and pay for them. And then we have the volunteers. They raise some money for us because we rent this place, to pay the rent, to buy some food, and to also increase on the number of ladies that work for us here. So that is how it works. They go do fundraisings and we pay different bills. We have a guest house where they stay when they come here. They work, they care for the children, but the money collected from the guest house pays the rent for this place. So as long as we have people staying in it, we are secure that the rent is well taken care of. So we have the other bills to look at, the utility bills, and then the school fees. And the more they grow, the more their appetites.
I mean, I'm a parent and I know how children eat, and I mean, my two boys do eat for the world. Obviously, you're saying you've got volunteers. What parts? I mean, Ugandans out there. Let me just remind you, a lot of the volunteers here are European white males and females, or just
Yes,
females?
males and females.
It's, they could be, they could come from all parts of Europe or America, you name it. We're having white people coming here, and they're volunteering and they working for free. I mean, it's any a great shame. I mean, I want to ask, do Ugandans actually who live in this area or all over the country, do they actually come and try to volunteer to help out their own, apart from saying, "Oh, I'll only volunteer if I'm being paid for it," or something like that? Do you actually get some who genuinely want to come here and help and not be given a wage?
No, they are not there.
I mean, why? Why is? I mean, these are Ugandan children. I mean, why is it that we don't have our fellow Ugandans here volunteering?
I think because people are struggling and looking for a way of survival, a way to live, and they find it very odd to come and do this.
Yeah.
But most of them collect things like clothes, sugar, and they
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some of the children here who have seen this camera and they're like, yeah, we want to join in and prove that they are actually children here and they are actually being looked after. We were saying that how do people outside of here know about you and how they can, they say, okay, I'm sure there are people that could help or could come and volunteer. But they're like, we don't know who you are, we don't know where you are, we don't know how to get in touch. And is there any way you advertise yourself to these people, or maybe, you know, give information out?
it's word of mouth and a friend tells a friend. We don't do adverts because they cost money, and we would rather use the money to buy milk for the children. So maybe not so many know about us.
Obviously, she is having fun. Do you get any help from the Ugandan government?
No, we don't get any help from the Ugandan government. Instead, we get harassment. For example, if there's a child here that is to be adopted by someone, the bureaucracy and the corruption that involves adoption is terrible. you know if, let's say, we are supposed to register and all those things. When you want to register, the amount of time you spend going to these government offices for help is, if you put it in terms of money, it is like a carton of milk
You
for
ever
the
get in
children.
such scenarios where you're like, you know what, we've got this child, and you're like, we can't help. Do you ever get that scenario?
Yes, there are scenarios like that, and about 3 of them that we have turned away have died on the way back, and we regret that very much. You know, you sometimes think maybe if we had said yes, this child would never have died, or maybe if it had stayed here, we would have done something. But yeah, we do. Sometimes we are overwhelmed. Sometimes, like, we depend on donations. They are like up and down. They are not stable. Sometimes we don't have the money at all, and we cannot afford to take in someone. So it's difficult for us if you don't have a stable source of income. If every time you're worried about money, you are forced to make decisions that you regret sometimes. So yes, we have had to say no to some children, and 3 of them have died on the way. Before the police reaches the main road, they call you and tell you, unfortunately, the child has passed away. It is terrible. You never forget that child, because you wonder about the things that you would have done for this child to save its life.
Okay, Power Chat, you've been watching Power Chat TV. We are in Uganda, and we are talking to a very lovely lady who's running a charity, and we would like the world to know what they're doing here. So at least a lot of people out there who might go, oh no, I don't trust charities, or I don't give to any charities because they take my money and they sort of feed it to themselves. At least you're seeing what we're doing here. We are on the ground, and sort of bring this to you so you can at least see exactly what's happening here. A children's home of children that have been abandoned or been dumped or been thrown away, children who've been sexually abused, children who've been neglected by their mothers. And we are extremely grateful that someone who's actually thought, let me do something in the community, has come within our community and taken these children in. All you guys, you hear on radio, on TV, New Vision, Monitor, that a child was abandoned, left at the police station. You ask yourself, where do these children go? Well, this is it. These children come here, or some other, the charities that are doing things that are, extremely important to make sure that we keep our children alive and not to die. Um, Obviously, I just want to ask you, us back in London or wherever you are in Germany, America, Japan, Ugandans all over the world who will be watching this. They're like, I want to help, I want to do something, I want to do something. You might not have money, you might not have this. However, there's something they can do. What can they do to give, to help you out where you are here?
You know, there's a lot to do. If you're here, you can come and spend some time with the children, teach them, play with them, carry them, speak an important word in their lives. When you're, what is it called? Diaspora.
Diaspora. Yeah.
You can, anything you have, We use Vaseline, we use soap, we use Omo, we use pencils, books, clothes, shoes. Most importantly, we need bed sheets, bed sheets and blankets, towels, diapers, milk. So anything you use in a home, cooking pots, we cook. Yeah, so we need cooking pots. Whatever you use in a home, we use here. Anything that you can give, anything, curtains, we use curtains in their windows. Right now there are no curtains because we don't have. So anything that you have, shoes, soap, sandals, t-shirts, anything that you can use. Even if they're adult clothes, we turn them into cloth diapers or nappy liners. So for us here, what may be your waste is our valuable. We use it to do something.
You heard it. I mean, we are back in London, and we are, part of the Ugandan Youth Initiative. You got one in London, you've got one in Uganda here that is starting up. Let's do something. Let's just not sit down, ignore this, and think maybe it's going to go away. No, it's not. We need to do something, and the time has come for us Ugandans in the diaspora to help out our own. So let's feel like a lot of you guys out there maybe give 3, 4, 5, £6 a month to a charity that you probably would not care less what they do. But why not give something here to a charity that is supporting your own? We're going to be going around the school, and we're going around the home, and we'll show you how the home is, and talk to some of the staff and take it from there.
Abaana mu Papas of Uganda mbaagala nnyo, mbeenyumirizaamu, era ne Aunt Remi mwagala nnyo kubanga afudde nnyo kubanga era abaana bangi ababonaabona abalina okuyambibwa. Kyetaagisa kyova naffe era tukikolamu.
On the swings, and they were donated to us by Triple S. It's a USA organization that I think it's called Science and Social Systems. This is the home. This is where the children stay and sleep. And this time the children are having their dinner. When it's not when the weather is good, we eat from outside. This is our sitting area. The kids spend most of their time here on a cold day. We watch TV here. We sit down and play and pray as well. We tell stories from here. This is the baby's room. When we've just received babies, they stay in this room because they need medical attention or because they are very, very young. So we have baby cots. They were donated by Barclays Bank. And this white one and this one were donated by a Ugandan family that they were not using them anymore. And then these are my first babies. These were the kids that I started with, and all of them are adopted now. So those who go to school, this is where they keep their uniforms and their shoes below, and those are their clothes for outings. When we are going to church or to the beach or to hospital, those are the nice clean clothes we keep aside for such occasions. For our medicines. This is where we keep our drugs that we receive from people. Mostly painkillers, and we buy the antibiotics from the This pharmacy. Is the room for the bigger ones, those who have grown a little bit older. Ages between 8 and 4, they sleep in this room. Some share because we don't have enough beds and space, but yeah, we teach them to make their beds, and then we come and just make them neater. But we give them small responsibilities to learn from. And this is how they sleep. Laundry room. There's a washing machine that we use to wash the clothes of the children. It was donated by the UN. And people in the UN collected money and bought it for us because we have a lot of washing. This is our kitchen. This is where we cook our food from. As you can see, there are big pots of food. The beans, we usually eat beans and posho and rice. It is easy to buy and also easy to keep. It doesn't get spoiled quickly, and it is cheaper. So at least we always have food.
Vamutashitiwa Hilda, kola wano baby's home. Nkeera ku makya ne nfumbira abaana obuugi, bwe bamala okunywa ne mbateerako bwe banywa ku ssaawa 4 n'ekitundu. Ssaawa 7 tuba tubawa ekyemisana, olw'eggulo tubawa ku fruits n'amazzi ag'okunywa ku ssaawa 11 n'ekitundu tuba tubawa ekyeggulo. Pozi ebintu bye baba baliriddeko mba mbyoza obutakalubiriza bakoze kiro kuba nabo baba n'emirimu gyabwe. Abaana abakulu tugezaako bayigiriza okukola ku mirimu ng'okwerako wano wabweru, okwoza ku bintu nyinza okuuta nga banyumunguza, n'okwenaaza tugezaako bayigiriza.
This is where we store any food that we get or buy. So as you can see in the corner, there are bags of posho, rice, beans, and a wheat flour. Then there is milk. And then this is our water filter. This was donated to us by some American people. We don't boil water anymore, so we save on charcoal. We just put and then it filters it and we drink. We have drinking water 24 hours.
Parcha, we are talking to Caroline, who is one of the volunteers at Purpose Ugandan Children's Home. Caroline, first of all, what country from?
I'm from Germany.
Okay, how did you get here of Purpose?
A friend told me of this baby's home, and then I applied for it, and then I came here on 1st of March. Yeah.
Okay, so you've been here March, April, May, 3 months?
Yeah. And I will leave in 2 weeks. Oh, yeah, it's 1 week left. Yeah.
How are you finding it?
I like it very much. Yeah.
Okay. What made you choose this? I mean, what made you want to be a volunteer?
Since I'm a little girl, I wanted to visit an African country, and so I'm happy to be here in Uganda right now. And I wanted to know the culture and the people. So that was the reason why I wanted to stay here for a long time, and also to stay in a regional project. Yeah.
Fantastic. I hope you're going to recommend this place to your friends.
Yeah, of course. I already did.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you too.
Hope you enjoy in Uganda.
Yeah, of course.
And the other person we've found at this home is Mr. Amanda Francis, who is a social worker. Mr. Amanda Francis, how are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. I mean, you're a social worker.
Yes.
What is your main purpose of being here?
My main purpose of being here, first of all, I have to look after these children. I'm the one responsible for all the reports, the legal documents of this home, all the children, all that concerns about me. So I have to make sure all children are okay, they have got what they need. The home has all the legal documents that makes it to be here in Uganda as the law requires. So all that concerns me.
Okay, obviously, being a social worker in an environment like this,
Yeah.
there's quite a lot of children here.
Yeah.
It can be challenging.
Yes.
How do you find the children's welfare, and how are they obviously being looked after?
Yeah.
Do you find that the welfare is it's a place where they should be?
Yeah, as you said, it's quite challenging because we receive children most of the times. The children we get, they are not in a good health. They are malnourished. So this is a challenging environment, but we make sure as professionals, we make sure we bring them to normal. For those who are malnourished, there is a special meal diet we give to these who are malnourished. Those who need medical attention, we have a nurse here. Then she tries to do her job. When she fails, then we refer to the neighboring hospitals. Yeah.
Okay. The other thing is I wanted to ask, being a social worker, because the children that have come here that have been say they've been abused or sexually, physically. I now mean the older ones, the 4, 5, 6s. Do they get some sort of counseling, or it's just basically just showing them love?
Most of the children we have, we try to counsel, but not that part because our children are young. So you try to talk to them. We believe they understand when you talk to them. When he does something bad, we talk to them. Some children we see they are disturbed. There are those who come with trauma when they are traumatized. So we try to give them much love. They are loved by the aunties around, the uncles as me. We try to give them much love so that they can feel comfortable, they feel at home, because we want them to, though they are abandoned, they are neglected, we want them to feel at home, we want them to be like in a home setting. So we try to show them much love.
Okay, the work Rema's doing here is obviously it's great, and obviously my job now is to tell potential viewers around the world what you're doing here. What message do you have for people that obviously who are in the diaspora, who want to help and are like, okay, I want to help, but obviously we've seen what is around here. What message do you have for them to encourage them to give more to their own people, especially Ugandans?
The message I would send them, these are children. Though they are abandoned, they are from different backgrounds, but they are children like others in the family. So we need to come out together, give them what they need, so that they grow up as other children. They need what other children need. So we need to come together. Wherever you're coming from, be it from Europe, where they are all children, regardless of the color, what race, they are all children. They need what other children
Caroline,
need.
a white lady from Germany.
Yeah, she's from
She's come all the way from Germany to volunteer here. Whilst in Uganda, we could have potential volunteers. Mr. Francis, thank you so much for giving us your time, and thank you for the hard work you're doing here.
Thank you too.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Power Chat, and we're coming to the part of the program where it's now coming to an end, and we've had a great time here in Purpose Children's Home. And Remi, I'm just gonna ask you. I won't ever ask you. I just want a last word from you. What last word have you got for our people back in London, in Uganda? Because we want this to go to Ugandans as well. Because we want the information that we're going to be putting and giving to people, because we need to also make our people aware of what you're doing here. So that I'm sure the people who would want to also come and help. So what word do you have to say lastly for our program?
I would like to call on people to come and help in any way they can. Let us work together. Let us make our world a better place. I know that together we can make a change, a very big change in the lives of these children. And I also would like to thank all the people that have been supporting us. Thank you so very much. We wouldn't have been here without you.
There you have it. We'll see you next time on Power Chat. Goodbye.